Important dates in the month of May, as checks are going out and announcements will be made. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. Alright, now in this video, I do want to talk through a list of very important dates throughout the entire month of May, as yet again we have another busy month upon us, so let's get into it and talk through all these key dates and what they mean for all of us going forward. However, really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video, as it's totally free to do so, and because I am your one and only daily advocate, and because we are rapidly approaching 500,000 subscribers right here on the channel, and it would mean so much to me if you hit that subscribe button down below. Please remember, I am here for you each and every day, as that is my dedication, my commitment, and my promise to you and everybody right here in the community to continuously come here, doing all the research, watching all this new information hitting the wire, as it's a very busy time, it's a confusing time, and it's also a very uncertain time that we're currently living through, which is exactly why I'm watching all this new information hitting the wire literally every single day and breaking it down into these short videos, which I deliver a couple times throughout the day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So anyway, I'm here for you as much as I can be. I truly want to help you out as much as I can, as I know it's very confusing out there to try to keep everything straight with everything going on. So again, please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and let's get into it and talk about all of these key dates in the month of May. Alright, so I'm only talking about the month of May, and I have a whole list of dates that I want to point out here for you with different things that are going on. However, before I get into this, I just want to say this much as well. This is what we know about as of right now. However, I completely guarantee you 100% as we work our way through the month of May, just like every other month, there's going to be a lot more things going on. So just because I'm pointing out these key dates, I can guarantee you there's going to be way more. These are just the things that we know about right now. We don't know about all the things that'll spontaneously pop up each and every day. But either way, that's why I'm here for you. And like I said, I'm watching all this information hitting the wire literally every single day. All right, so let's work our way through the month in chronological order, and I want to point out the key dates that we want to pay attention to as far as announcements, when checks are going out, all kinds of different things that are happening in the month of May that we know about right now. All right, so let's start out with the 1st of May. So obviously, May 1st is the date that I want to point out really quickly. Now, I do know that there are a lot of you here in the community receiving fixed income benefits, like SSI, for example. This is the date in which your checks will be arriving. It is Monday, May 1st, therefore it's not a holiday, it is not a weekend, and you will be getting your checks on that day. All right, so that is primarily SSI. For some fixed income beneficiaries, you will be getting your checks that day as well. However, now let's fast forward out to Wednesday, the 3rd of the month. There's a couple things that are happening this day. Number one, fixed income beneficiaries. If you generally get your payment on the 3rd of the month, well then your payment will be arriving this day. Again, it's not a holiday, it's not a weekend, therefore you'll be getting your checks on that day. Next, the Federal Reserve will be coming out on this day as well, announcing what they're going to be doing with interest rates moving forward. So this is their FOMC meeting. So every 6 weeks, they come together and they meet for a meeting. It's a 2-day meeting. It starts on Tuesday and it wraps up on Wednesday. And then they come out and there's the news conference with the chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, as well as they come out and they announce what they're going to be doing with interest rates. Will they be raising interest rates? Will they be holding them steady? Will they pause? Will they pivot? What are they going to do? Well, we'll get that information here on the 3rd of the month. So that is Wednesday. Next, let's fast forward out to Friday now. Friday, May 5th. And this is the day in which we'll be getting the NonFarm Payroll number right away in the morning of the 5th. So that is Friday. It's the first Friday of the month. Every Friday, or what I should say, sorry, the first Friday of every month is when we get the non-farm payroll number. This is the job report. So this is the one that comes out, tell us how many jobs were created the previous month. So in April, it's going to tell us how many jobs were created, how many jobs were lost, what is going on with the unemployment rate. It's going to tell us, is the unemployment rate going up? Is it going down? Is it holding steady? It's also going to tell us the labor participation rate, and it's also going to tell us hourly earnings. So average hourly earnings. It's going to tell us all these metrics with that report right away, bright and early, 8:30 a.m. East Coast time on Friday, the 5th of May. So that's a very important one as well, as that's going to also help the Federal Reserve determine what they're going to be doing with their interest rate policy moving forward. And there's a whole variety of other factors. So We'll have to watch that report very closely. Next, let's quickly fast forward out to Wednesday, the 10th of May, okay? Now, this one has a couple different things going on. Number one, this is the date in which those of you that have a birthday that lands between the 1st and the 10th of the month and who receives a fixed income benefit like Social Security retirement, SSDI, survivors, benefits like this. If your birthday lands between the 1st and the 10th of the month, then you will be getting your check on this day, the 2nd Wednesday of the month, unless you received your check already on the 1st or the 3rd of the month. But generally, we're going into the time where, we're based on your birthday, when your birthday lands, and then it's either the 2nd Wednesday, the 3rd Wednesday, or the 4th Wednesday of the month. But I do know that some of you receive your payments on the 1st or the 3rd of the month as well. So, if you didn't get it the 3rd, if you didn't get it the 1st, then again, we get into this birthday schedule. So that's what it comes down to for the 10th of the month as well, okay? So very important. Next, we got to watch on this date as well, the morning of Wednesday, the 10th, which is the date in which the CPI data release will be happening. That is the inflation report. We've got to watch this one very closely as well, as this will be telling us what inflation did in the month of April. So just, basically what happened with inflation in the month of April. So this will be very important as well. This also helps the Federal Reserve determine what they're going to be doing with their interest rate policy moving forward. Now, obviously, they're meeting on the 3rd, wrapping up on the 3rd. Obviously, will not have this metric because, it's after the 3rd when their meeting will wrap up. And they also will not have the NonFarm Payroll number, again, which will be released on the 5th. So they won't have that for this, but their next meeting in June, they will have that information and they can determine what they're going to do as far as that goes. So remember, that is the 10th, the inflation report, CPI number, consumer price index, that'll be released the morning of 8:30 a.m. on May 10th. So East Coast time, by the way, that is May 10th. All right, next, let's go to May 11th, the next day. This is the date in which the Public Health Emergency Declaration will be expiring. Now, it was supposed to expire in mid-April, but they pushed it out for another 30 days, out until May 11th. So this is the date in which the Public Health Emergency Declaration will be expiring, and according to what they're telling us, this is it, okay? They told us this is it. It's not going to be extended out yet again after this one. So we would anticipate, based on what they've told us and no further extensions on this, then we would anticipate it actually will be officially expiring on that day, May 11th. Now, I've talked about the details of this in previous videos. Make sure to check out those if you want to know what that actually means and the ramifications of this thing actually expiring. But that is May 11th, and that is a Thursday. All right. Now, let's move out to the following Wednesday, which is May 17th. This is the date in which those of you receiving a fixed income benefit that I mentioned earlier as well, if your birthday lands between the 11th and the 20th of the month, this is the 3rd Wednesday of the month. Therefore, this is the date in which you get your check. So, again, Social Security retirement, SSDI, survivors. If you did not receive your payments any of the other dates that I pointed out here in this video, then if your birth date falls between that range there, the 11th through the 20th, then this is when your payment will be arriving. It is the 3rd Wednesday of the month, and it is the 17th. All right, let's move on to another date here. Let's fast forward out another week, all the way out until May 24th. This is the 4th Wednesday of the month, and this is for those of you that have a birthday landing between the 21st and the 31st of the month, and that receive a fixed income benefit. If you did not receive your benefit any of the other following days that I mentioned throughout this video, then your date would be, or your check would be arriving on this day. So, the 4th Wednesday of the month, and again, it is the 24th of May, and this is the birthday schedule for the 21st through the 31st if your birthday lands between these dates. Now, these are the dates in which Social Security distributes these payments to millions upon millions of beneficiaries. Generally, it is the 2nd Wednesday, the 3rd Wednesday, or the 4th Wednesday of the month for the vast majority of beneficiaries. However, some people do get their payments on the 1st of the month, like SSI beneficiaries, and some individuals do get their payments on the 3rd of the month as well. But generally, most people get their payments on the birthday schedule. 2nd Wednesday, 3rd Wednesday, and the 4th Wednesday, the 10th, 17th, and 24th in this case. Now remember this much as well. The payment schedule and the payment dates for fixed income beneficiaries like Social Security and SSDI and survivors beneficiaries generally changes each and every month simply because it's based on when the 1st of the month actually lands. If the 1st of the month lands on a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, it's going to be a lot sooner in the month versus if the 1st of the month lands on, for example, a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. It's going to be a lot later in the month as well. So I like to point that out. In fact, I also had a dedicated video just a couple days ago talking about that exact schedule, and I explained that in further detail as well with some examples. So feel free to check that one out as well. But these are the key dates that we know of as of right now in the month of May that I wanted to point out. Now, obviously, there's a lot more going on in May, but these are the ones that are going out right now that we know about. And again, I'm going to continue watching everything closely because it's a very busy time. I mean, seriously, think of all the things that have gone on over the last, call it 4 months now that we've been into this year so far. A lot of stuff, right? There's a lot of announcements. There's a lot of bills, packages, and proposals coming out of Congress. There's announcements out of the administration. There's a lot of things that have been hitting the wire. And again, why I'm watching all of it very closely and breaking it down into these short videos. So that's the schedule that I know about right now. But again, as we work our way through the month, day by day, I will continue watching all the headlines, watching all the announcements, watching anything else coming out of Congress or the administration. Anything else coming out, of course, I'm watching it all very, very closely and bringing it to you in these short videos, as I truly just want to keep you updated because it's a very confusing time. And again, we got to pay attention to this because it's all going to impact us in some way, shape, or form. Therefore, I'm not sure about you, but I always want to know what's going to impact me. What of all these announcements? How about all of this? How is it going to impact us? I always want to know that because I want to be prepared if something comes up. So anyway, that's why I'm going to bring it to you. So I hope you're having a nice day so far. Again, please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other thousands of videos here on the channel. Until next time, enjoy your day, have a good one, take care, and catch you again later in the